The highway was empty, just endless small and the faint orange glow of Darren's dashboard clock. 2:47 a.m. The world outside his windshield felt dead. No lights, no towns, not even a single passing car. Owning the rhythmic drone of his 18-wheeler slicing through the desert night. He'd been hauling frozen goods from Reno to Albuquerque, a run he'd done 100 times. But tonight, everything felt wrong. The desert looked different, heavier somehow. Even the stars looked dimmer, swallowed by a haze that hadn't been there before. Then his CB radio hissed, a sharp burst of static that made him jump. "You still out here on Route 19? The voice was rough, broken, almost whispering through the static. Darren frowned. That was his private channel. Only dispatch had it. "Yeah. Who's this?" Silence. Then a faint sound behind the static-like breathing, slow and wet. He turned up the volume, heart thudding. "You okay out there?" Still no answer. The signal cut out, with a high-pitched squeal that echoed through the cab. A few minutes later, headlights appeared in his mirror far behind. Just two dim orbs floating in the darkness. The vehicle followed him for miles, never closing the distance. Whenever Darren slowed down, it slowed too. When he turned onto a smaller road, it vanished. He stopped at a desert diner just before 3 a.m. The place looked abandoned, but the neon sign buzzed faintly. Open all night. Inside sat a single old woman behind the counter. Her pale eyes tracked him the moment he entered. "You're out late," she said quietly. "Long haul," he muttered. Her expression darkened. "Route 19's cursed. You hear voices yet?" Darren froze. "What?" "The ones calling for a ride." He forced a laugh, tossed some cash on the counter, and left. But when he stepped outside, his truck door was open. Inside, the air was cold and damp, like fog had seeped in. His logbook was gone, and on the driver's seat, a wet handprint. He wiped it off, heart pounding, and started the engine. The CB radio crackled again. "You picked the wrong haul, driver." The voice was his own. The lights behind him returned. Closer now. Too close. He hit the gas, but the road kept looping, repeating the same mile marker, mile 19, again and again. By dawn, a patrol officer found Darren's truck idling by the roadside. The cab was empty, driver's door still open. The dashcam kept recording for 3 more minutes, capturing only static and faint breathing. At 10:07 a.m., Darren's reflection appeared in the windshield, his face pale, motionless, eyes fixed straight ahead. But his reflection was smiling. To this day, truckers say that if you drive Route 19 after midnight, your CB might still pick up that same voice, whispering through the static. "Mind if I ride along?"
The night had been calm until the fog came. 1 second, the stars were visible above the Appalachian Highway. The next, they were gone, swallowed by a heavy, ghostly mist that rolled across the road like a tide. Jacob Rains, a long-haul trucker with 15 years on the road, had seen just about everything. Accidents, fires, even tornadoes, but this fog was different. It wasn't natural. It moved with rhythm, curling against the truck's headlights as if it were alive. He was on mile 52, a quiet stretch of the mountain route known among truckers for its poor visibility. His CB radio hissed softly, filling the silence. Then a whisper crawled through the static. "Pull over." Jacob blinked and leaned closer to the radio. "Say again? Who is this?" No answer. The static faded to silence. He shrugged it off, thinking it was just interference. But the fog thickened until the road disappeared beneath it. He slowed to a crawl, gripping the wheel, his knuckles white. That's when he noticed movement. A dark silhouette standing in the center of the road ahead. He slammed the brakes, tires screaming on the wet asphalt. When the truck stopped, the figure was gone. Jacob climbed down, flashlight in hand. The air was ice cold, heavy with the smell of wet earth. Every sound was swallowed by the fog. He scanned the road, nothing but white walls. Then something brushed past his jacket. A whisper slid by his ear. "You shouldn't have stopped." Heart pounding, he jumped back into the cab, slammed the door and locked it. But the inside of the truck felt colder than outside. His breath fogged the glass. The passenger seat belt was fastened. It hadn't been before. Jacob's hand trembled as he reached for the ignition. The engine sputtered. The dashboard lights flickered. And the CB came to life again. "Mile 52 always takes one," the voice said, his own voice. Jacob's pulse roared in his ears. He shifted into gear, desperate to move, but the fog outside began to glow faintly red. Through the windshield, shadows twisted and moved like shapes underwater. He turned on the high beams and saw someone standing beside the truck. A man, pale, faceless, wearing Jacob's jacket. The figure tilted its head, and Jacob screamed as the truck's lights went out. For a second there was nothing, no sound, no engine, just thick silence. Then something slammed against the driver's door once, twice. Then the voice returned. The glass spiderwebbed under invisible pressure. Jacob tried to radio for help, but the signal only returned his own words in distorted echoes. "Help. Help. Pull. Over." The fog began seeping through the air vents, filling the cab. His lungs burned as the cold crept up his throat. He reached for the door, but his fingers froze mid-air. When the police found his truck the next morning, it was idling by the shoulder of mile 52. The driver's seat was empty, the headlights still on. On the inside of the windshield there were 2 handprints, one small, one large, both facing opposite directions. The dashcam recorded one final sound before cutting off. "Pull over." To this day, truckers crossing that highway say the fog never really lifts, and if you drive past mile 52 around 3 a.m., you might still hear the CB whispering, "Pull over."